welcome back to the beginning of a new week. I'd love to say that that was a sunrise, but it's not. It's a sunset because anyone who knows me knows that I am not a morning person. I am definitely a night owl. It is winter solstice today, so it is the longest night of the year. And that means that this whole week has been basically making sure that the garden is set up for the spring. I was able to get out and hack down my asparagus patch, minus this one because it still had green on it when I cut it back. And I decided to put all the fronds just on the floor and let them rest in situ for the winter. And hopefully they will come back strong in the spring. The girls are doing okay. I've ordered a barrier, a clear barrier that I'm going to hopefully put around this back end to help protect them from the wind and the rain some more, because it is getting kind of cold and miserable. This week we are expecting below freezing temperatures, which, you know, for our area is pretty cold. But let's go down to the orchard and see what's happening down there. Last week, I think I mentioned that these two apple trees are triploids. So they are what's called male sterile. So they don't produce usable pollen, but they're female fertile, so they can receive pollen. This guy actually had a bloom that turned into an apple that got knocked off in our summer storms, but it did try to produce a flower. So I do know that there's another apple in the area that's donating pollen. But since I want these to be able to produce pollen without relying on an external factor, I have gone ahead and started digging up a mound here. So if I zoom in a bit, you can see it a bit more right there. So that is where the new super pollinator will be planted. And the idea is that that apple tree will then produce enough pollen actually to fertilize itself, because it's technically self-fertile, but also enough pollen to pollinate these two apples. And again, evidence of the very temperate winter we've had. The rest of the fruit trees have completely lost their leaves, but my apples are holding out on me. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, they will completely lose their leaves, and then we will start with all the spring stuff. So I don't usually show off my disasters, but this is a giant disaster that I need to organize. Things get worse before they get better. So this is my mess, but I will also come over here and show you the status of our wood pile. We got 6 stairs delivered. We're guessing we had about 2 stairs left, which obviously brings us up to 8 stairs for this winter. We're definitely already starting to make a dent in it, so we'll see how long this lasts. Okay, and now we're inside, and I get to show you the really exciting stuff. So, since it's been kind of cold and miserable outside, Francis and I do get around to finally putting up the cabinets in the utility room, which turned out pretty cool. So those are the cabinets, and then this big empty space here, we're going to be installing a chest freezer for preserving my garden stuff. So that is coming pretty soon. And then in the kitchen, it's been 2 years, but look, we actually have the last of the cabinets. So you may have remembered, like, I actually had curtains covering these, but the guy came out and finally installed them. So the kitchen is officially done. And with the kitchen, being done, it means that we're actually going to start doing some work on the doors. So this door and the front doors are the next big projects. And then a huge goal for this week for me was cleaning up this front room. The corner over there is still a little messy, but overall, it's way, way better than it was. As a matter of fact, I'm too embarrassed to even show photos of what it used to look like. But all of this has been organized. And then actually, if I come back behind, this has all been organized too. And now all of my macerations and things are actually under the stairwell here. So that's where they're going to live. These are all of the ones that I actually have planned for the holidays. So one of the things for this week is actually to turn all of these macerations into liqueurs for Christmas gifts. So that is happening. We have our little Christmas tree over there. That's pretty cool. And then these are the doors. There's a door there and a door here, and actually a door in the dining room as well, that we'll be looking into getting replaced with something new. And I guess one of the biggest things of this week was being able to go out to our local forest and harvest forage for mushrooms. So I was actually going out foraging for holly to decorate the house and some pine leaves, but I stumbled on edible mushrooms. And when we actually cooked them up and tried them, they were delicious. So we went out to get more and managed to harvest quite a few. We harvested over 600 grams of mushrooms just by happenstance. And that is definitely our new favorite pastime. Unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where the sunset is basically done, but you can see the pine forest over there. That is not where we harvested mushrooms, because we haven't checked that forest out. But there's another one local that's where we found our mushrooms. And yeah, so this week, things to come is basically just turning all of those macerations into liqueurs for Christmas. We have family coming down to celebrate the holidays. And yeah, thanks for spending some time with me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.